This week, the Trump administration officially filed formal charges against Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan. She's accused of helping an undocumented immigrant avoid being detained by federal agents. If you're not familiar with the situation, here's a quick summary. Judge Dugan was presiding over a case involving a man who was in the U.S. illegally, but the charges he faced weren't immigration-related. They believe it involved domestic violence. During the hearing, ICE agents arrived and stated they wanted to take the man into custody. Judge Dugan refused, saying the court proceedings were ongoing and the man was entitled to due process for the charges at hand. She also pointed out that the warrant they presented wasn't valid for what they were trying to do. She told them to speak with a higher-level judge instead. ICE agents left the courtroom frustrated. Once the hearing concluded, Judge Dugan reportedly advised the man not to exit through the main entrance, but to leave through the jury door instead. That's what he did. The Trump administration claims she assisted in his escape, even though authorities eventually caught him. Based on this, formal charges were filed this week, following her arrest a few weeks ago. However, her legal team has submitted a motion asking the court to dismiss all charges immediately. They're relying on a Supreme Court ruling from last summer, which suggests that government officials, when performing their duties, may be protected from prosecution. They specifically referred to the Supreme Court's decision involving Donald Trump's immunity. Here's what her attorneys argued. The prosecution is flawed in many ways, but most clearly, the government has no right to prosecute Judge Dugan because her actions fall under judicial immunity. They emphasized that immunity isn't a defense to be debated later. It prevents the case from moving forward at all. They pointed to the Supreme Court's opinion that courts shouldn't examine a government official's motives when separating official actions from personal ones. Since Judge Dugan's guidance happened during court proceedings, they argue she's protected from both prosecution and conviction. The court has already said that judges can't be held personally accountable for decisions they make on the bench, unless there's evidence of misconduct like in the Kids for Cash scandal. This is the same principle as presidential and congressional immunity. Judges, like lawmakers and presidents, have certain protections while doing their jobs. In this case, Judge Dugan's defense is turning that same ruling, meant to shield Donald Trump, against his own administration. It's a sharp legal move, and honestly, one that was predictable. When that Supreme Court ruling came out, it was clear it could be used by others, including Trump's critics. And now, here we are. To be clear, this is a legally sound argument. Judges are protected when giving orders from the bench. If she said use that door, that's a judicial order. Disobeying a judge's order can result in contempt of court. So from that perspective, the logic seems solid. It's a smart strategy, both legally valid and cleverly executed. Hopefully, this case ends in Judge Dugan's favor. If not, we could see more judges across the country targeted just for not aligning with what Donald Trump or his allies expect of them. The outcome of this case is critical. It holds serious weight, and ideally, both Judge Dugan and the legal reasoning behind her defense will be upheld.